Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric and our continuing series, the Unported Playlist, where I take a look at some of my favorite unported arcade games of all time. And today we're playing Charlie Ninja by Mitchell Corp, way more well known for making the Pang series. And I will say this has been a viewer request. Everyone keeps asking me if I'm going to cover this game, and it must have been because you wanted to see me torture myself. This is not a bad game. It is just incredibly hard, and it absolutely hands me my ass every single time I play it. But before we get too far involved, do me a huge favor, go down and hit like and subscribe, because this one did take me a bit of doing. Obviously, if you can't tell already, Charlie Ninja is a 2D side-scrolling action platformer game. Kind of plays a little bit like Sunset Riders in that run-and-gun feel, except we're using ninja weapons versus a firearm. But I will say, while this game is colorful, while it's cute, while the soundtrack is great, it is absurdly hard. You will spend credit upon credit upon credit trying to see the end of this game, and it's only like 15 minutes long. This may be the cheapest arcade game I've played on an imported playlist of this genre, but I know some people really love this game, and trust me, I can't be amazing at every single thing I play, because I play about 100 arcade games a year for the channel, so I only have so much time to practice. But even with all the practice in the world, this game is still incredibly hard, but I think that's what most people like about it. It really does make you come back for more and learn the patterns and get better at the game. Now, it's very simple in execution, but it gets complex in the moveset because you basically have your projectile and there's certain inputs that you can do certain special commands on that will do more damage to the boss characters and other characters on screen. You also have a ninja invulnerability where you go behind a transparent cloth that'll keep you from taking damage, but honestly in later levels there's so many projectiles on screen at once, it doesn't matter the minute you come out of that protection, you're going to get tagged with a bullet. I would say that the bosses are actually the easier part of the game, and it's the actual stages themselves that just always seem to give me trouble. There's always projectiles everywhere. There's traps, there's different things you can walk on to do damage to yourself, and in later levels there's pits that kill you, and the knockback is absolutely brutal in this game. But that doesn't mean it's not a fun game, it doesn't mean I didn't enjoy my time with it. It's cute, it's colorful, it's got everything you need in an action platformer. It is just incredibly difficult, but I know some people love that difficulty. I love bullet hell shmups. Some people hate them because they think they're too hard. An action platformer like this isn't the perfect game for me, but I know it's going to be the perfect game for a lot of different people. It has some light Metal Slug vibes to it as well with these tanks here. Definitely feels like that was inspired by something SNK would have done. But the reality is Charlie Ninja came out 2 years before Metal Slug did, so it's possible somebody on the development team may have played this game and was slightly inspired by it, because the more you look at it, the more you can see Metal Slug in the game, except you have a ninja, not an army soldier. But honestly, I could see the difficulty of this game actually bringing in a lot of fans because people love to learn games. They love that maximum difficulty, learning all the patterns and trying to get better at it. The same way people that love bullet hell shmups get into it. There's somebody out there that's going to absolutely love just how hard this game is to start, but how pattern based it really is, because every single time you play the game, the bosses and characters do the same thing. The only difference is your talent level at the game. If you learn boss patterns, if you learn the levels and you memorize things, suddenly this is going to be a game that gives you great feedback and lets you improve over time. I will say that the melee attacks on the boss can do a lot more damage than your actual projectile, so it is kind of a game of trying to get close, trying to poke at them, seeing what works, and backing up when you need more distance on the screen. But you'll see here when we get closer to the boss, and it does scroll just to prolong the level just a little bit more, if we get right next to him and start unleashing on him with that sword, the same way you have your knife in Metal Slug, his health bar is going to go down very, very quickly. So you really do need to manage when you take that risk and what reward it's going to give you, versus trying to get a little bit too up in the boss's face when you shouldn't be and taking a death. But trust me, learning this game, playing it, it's a good thing real quarters are not involved, because I would be losing absolutely my entire life savings trying to see the end of this game. Of course, that's a little bit of hyperbole, but it definitely isn't easy. But it's got a great soundtrack, and that's so much fun, so I'll let you listen to that in just a second. But again, I just love how colorful this game is. It's charming, it's weird, you've got these chickens flying around, and you have this boss in classic leather daddy 80s clothing as well. Definitely a vibe, definitely interesting, but go ahead and listen, I'll be right back. It's a fun soundtrack and it 100% fits the game entirely. You'll see here with that melee attack, the boss went down again. You definitely want to use your melee to your advantage with the bosses, but moving on to the third stage, one of the fun things about this game is just how often it changes itself up. First we were in a Native American kind of Western country world, then we went over to a full military run and gun, then we had basically a junkyard back alley 80s vibe, and now we are in a football field. Charlie Ninja is always showing you something new, and there's a ton of different characters per level, so you cannot say that Mitchell Corp did not put a lot of time into this game because they drew so many different sprites, so many different backgrounds, and so many different ideas on the screen at once. You can definitely tell the people that were making this game absolutely love doing it. But once you get to this area, I will say the game becomes exceedingly hard. I'm barely even getting on the ground after dying, and things are just going every single direction. This is easier when you're playing in two-player mode, but as a one-player game, once you get to the football area, area 4, it just becomes so incredibly hard. You're just going to die over and over again. And that's not even talking about the 5th area, which basically becomes impossible with death pits. But I love all of the different characters here, and I like that this boss in particular has a very big pattern to him. Once you learn the patterns of the bosses, some of them can almost become free wins. You just need to realize what's going to happen and when, and obviously I missed that little spin attack there, but he's definitely going to belly pound me into oblivion. But it's just such a fun experience, and I'm curious who's actually played this game before or heard of it. I did find it interesting that a lot of people asked me to talk about this game over the last year or so, and I was impressed that more people knew it. I feel like this is in the same category as something like Ninja Baseball Batman, as just a weird game that doesn't make much sense, but it's still a ton of fun and a lot of people love it. But you'll see here on this 5th stage, it's half of a factory and half of a horror movie. You get these kind of like Jason Voorhees characters jumping out of the wall, while you also have what look like just to be round balls with masks on, kind of that Ninja Baseball Batman comparison there, and these bow-tied lab dudes. But you'll see right here, once we start getting to these pits, I just died. Now I'm going to go ahead and jump over, knocked back, and I'm going to take another death. You are going to use so many credits on the last level of this game, you're not going to know what hit you. Because you'll see there, I kill the enemy, he still hits me, I still get knocked back, and I still take another death. This is where the game is just 100% going to clean the floor with you. I would be so impressed to see a single playthrough where somebody didn't take at least one death on this stage, but I am sure there's people out there that have mastered this game and never died whatsoever, and you definitely have some Dr. Wily vibes and Mega Man going on here with this final boss. And that's the fun thing about Charlie Ninja. It reminds me of so many games that already existed when this game came out and that wouldn't yet exist for some years afterwards, because I see a lot of Mega Man in this final stage. I see a lot of Metal Slug in this game even though it didn't exist. And those are good comparisons to make. And like I said, outside of another bottomless pit death, there's not a bad game in Charlie Ninja. It is just obscenely hard. It's one of the hardest side-scrolling arcade games I have ever played in my time on this channel, over 5 years now. But I'm curious who has played it, who knows how hard it is, and how you found out about the game. Because this is not a common game whatsoever. I do not know of a single arcade cabinet in the United States of this. So if you do know about one, leave me that comment down below, because I would be curious to know where Charlie Ninja still is out there. But this is definitely a deep cut, but it is for the people that want to learn a game and want to see how hard a game can actually be. Because with the final boss, you don't just get one phase, you don't just get 2 phases, you get 3 phases with side-scrolling sections in between each one of them, and it is incredibly hard. This game is just going to 100% make you its you-know-what, and you're going to have to deal with it the entire time, but you finally do get the chance to kill the final boss and you get to see the credits roll. Charlie Ninja is a game for people that want a difficult experience, and I love that you get this fun little outro as well. But it's fun that so many people actually ask me about this game. Pang and Mighty Pang being way more of Mitchell Corp's known games, but this is definitely something that's going to be a lot of fun as is. But yeah, Charlie Ninja is a game, it exists, it's colorful, it's cute, and it is one hell of a challenging experience. And you even see that bird in the back saying, "Say we love Charlie." I'm sure a lot of people really do. Try that, I'll have another video next Monday, I'll have videos for the week as well, but this one's done. Charlie Ninja is gone, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.